Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. I call the meeting to order at 7:39, Public Works Committee meeting for Wednesday, July 1st, 2026. First agenda item is 1A. I move that we accept the June 2026 Highway Department report. But Mr. President, before I turn that over, I do have a question/statement, if I may, of this report.
Please.
Is Kyle around or representative for? Oh, I see you, Kyle. Good report, but I was really excited to see this in particular. This bullet item on June 26, highway crews assisted in an Eagle Scout project for Cheltenham Troop number 22 Scout at the fire training facility. Would you take a moment and share that with us? That sounds pretty exciting and would not have expected.
Yeah, I'll let Scott Lynch answer that. Scott was the one that coordinated that with us.
Okay, that's fine.
Good evening, commissioners. So our local Boy Scout troop down at 22 on Tokenie Parkway, one of the members approached the fire company about doing some things at the training area as far as a cleanup and some other things. So the project was granted. What happened that Saturday, June 27th, at the training area, all the old wood got replaced on the bleachers with brand new wood. There was a lot of cleanup as far as the debris laying around. The wood got, cleaned up and everything like that. And part of the project was the installation of a dry hydrant. And what that is for those who don't know, towards the back of that building, in the creek area, there's the old dam that used to be there. So we had one of the scoutmasters is a plumber. He was there. We had most of the materials donated, and the PVC piping with a strainer was put in the creek, attached to the dam. The Public Works was there the day before to clear the path out, dismantle the fence temporarily, and dig the ditch. That this pipe will come in and it'll come up through the fence, and the fire companies will be able to hook up to that and draw water out of the creek for practice and training and things like that. Public Works did a phenomenal job with getting a lot of the hard work done ahead of time, which saved the scouts a lot of labor. Members of the Cheltenham Fire Company were there, parents were there, scouts were there. So again, kudos to our Public Works department.
Yes, great news, worthy to be highlighted. Anything that we can do to help our youth is a good thing. So we applaud you guys. Thank you so much. Mr. President, I move to accept the Highway Department report for June 2026.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. 1B, I move to accept the Refuse and Recycling Department report for May 2026.
Comments or questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of accepting the May 2026 Refuse and Recycling Department report say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. 1C, I move that we accept the June 2026 Park Maintenance Department report. I do have a question or a statement, Mr. President.
Please.
Under Public Works Facility, I'm interested in knowing, it's stated here, installed decorative mulch. What is decorative mulch? Because I'm putting mulch down now and there's nothing decorative about that. So am I missing out on something?
I can answer that for Bob. Nothing special to it. It's just we started using a natural mulch this year, Bob. Bob's trying to get away from colored mulch, dyed mulch.
I got you. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Mr. President, 1C.
All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. 1D, I move that we accept the June 2026 Street and Traffic Light Superintendent report. Mr. President?
Comments or questions on that motion?
I have a question.
All right.
New 2nd Street and Tokenie Creeks Parkway. This sounds exciting to me. I was informed, not me, but in the report, it says, I was informed that we have received $200,000 reimbursement from Montgomery County for the traffic signal installation.
Correct, Commissioner. In order to move that project along, we were awarded a grant through Montgomery County. And so once the project was finished, we were able to submit for reimbursement. And Samantha Brinker was very crucial in getting paperwork done and getting all the submissions done so that we could make sure we got that reimbursement back.
That's good news. Thank you, Samantha. Mr. President?
All those in favor of
1D.
accept? Yep, 1D, June 2026 Street and Traffic Light Superintendent Report, say aye.
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 1E, I move to accept the June 2026 Fleet Superintendent Report. Mr. President?
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. 1F, I move to accept the June 2026 Stormwater Coordinator Report. Mr. President?
Comments or questions for Ms. Brinker? All right, see none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. 1F, I move to accept the June 2026 Stormwater Coordinator Report. Did we just do that?
I think we're on G.
G, my apologies. 1G, I move to accept the Shade Tree Advisory Commission Report, June 11th, 2026. Mr.
Comments
President?
or comments or questions on that that report? Seeing none.
Seeing none.
All right. All those in favor of accepting the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. 1H, I move to accept the Environmental Advisory Council report for June 16, 2026. Mr. President?
Comments or questions on that one? All right. Seeing none. All those in favor of accepting the June 16th, 2026 EAC meeting minutes, say aye.
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 Thank you. 1I, I move to accept the Active Transportation Committee report for June 1, 2026. Mr. President?
Comments or questions there? All right. Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
That
Item number 2, old business. There's none listed, but is there any old business? Commissioners?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Brockington.
Yes, I do have one old piece of old business, which is good news, is that PennDOT finished the paving on Ashbourne Road from Jenkintown Road, well, really from Central to Jenkintown Road. We got a lot of complaints from our residents, which were necessary in reference to the condition of that road. And I believe PennDOT has finally finished paving that road. So I just wanted to put that bit of good news out there.
That is good news. Thank you for sharing that, Commissioner. Is there any other old business, commissioners? How about the public? Any old business? Seeing none, we move to new business. There was discussion in previous meetings about the status of Lamont, and 3A, we're going to provide an update on the Mott Community Center renovation project. Who wants to take the lead on that? Drew? Alice? Can't hear you.
Sure. Sorry, I was looking for my unmute button. So I have Drew Levine and Eric Gianelli here to answer any questions, but we are really excited to announce that the Lamont Community Center renovation project bid is live, and on our OpenGov procurement system, we do have an announcement on our website like we usually do, which for public notice. And for any contractors or subcontractors who might be interested in following the bid and potentially participating in the project, we highly encourage them to log in and register for the OpenGov procurement module so they can follow it, connect with any potential prime contractors, and see if they're able to work with them and get on their bid submission. So as far as any detailed questions you might have about the bid or bidding process, I'll let Drew and Eric answer those questions.
Commissioners, any questions? Okay, not everybody at once. Thanks, Commissioner Stein.
I think if somebody could just lay out the expected timeline now if the bids went out today.
Yeah, so bids are expected to be due in by the end of July. I think it's the 31st. So if everything is successful and we get good bids, our plan is to be able to review them and have them on our August agenda for approval. And then by the time you get your contracts started and do your background checks and all that, notice to proceed is anticipated sometime in probably September, maybe early October at the latest. But I know Drew and Eric have more experience with that with a project quite as large as this one. So,
Okay, commissioners, any other questions, comments? Public, any questions or comments? Wow,
Yeah,
Gary Brown.
my camera's messed up. Can you
That's
hear me?
okay. Yes, we can.
My camera
Hi.
is not working.
That's okay.
Yeah, okay. Why is it taking so long? I mean, yeah, I just wanted to know why is it taking so long for this project to start? I mean, I
But
just
we're
don't
moving
understand.
forward now. We're on the right track. So,
Okay.
is there any timeline that we can lay out for Ms. Brown and others? What can we expect after this announcement tonight?
Dwight, can I answer that question?
Please, Eric. Thank you.
Yeah, the right now it's anticipated that we'll start construction potentially in September with a completion in October. The reason we stretched this out a little bit is that there's a lot of public school work that gets done through the summer. And so we want to give the contractors a little time coming out of that summer work from all the public schools to come in and finish up Lamont. We didn't want to push this into the late summer that we would keep competing with labor. So we thought township will get a better buy by pushing that bid into or completion of the work in October. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, please ask me and I'll help clarify that. We also are seeing better bids come in that they're more competitive. We just opened up a bid up in Upper Saucon and we had 35 contractors, which is fairly high if you guys have as you go through your bids. Generally, we see maybe 4 or 5 in a prime section. So we got a lot of action. So I believe there's a lot of contractors hungry for work. So I think the township should get a very good purchase here. But we'll see how the bidders list grows, and then I'll be able to inform you a little bit more.
yeah, and if I can jump in real quick, I do want to say thank you so much to Drew and his team at Revision, Eric and his team at KCBA, and our township engineers, GFT. This is a really large and complex project when you're putting multiple contractors together, multiple different types of contractors together on a project. If you look at the bid specs online, I think there are almost 1,300 pages, not to mention all the drawings and the detail that went into it. And we wanted to make sure that, I'm sure there's always going to be some things that aren't quite there when we get into it and we're opening the building up, but we wanted to make sure all the details are really in great shape. But I encourage you to take a look at it. It's really exciting, and I think that I want to thank the team, both on our staff and all of our professional consultants, to really get together and coordinate this and get this up and running.
Thank you, Manager Elliott. Commissioner Walls.
Sorry. I shouldn't be eating candy while we're having this meeting. I apologize. So I'm coming at it from a perspective of our engaged community members, and I just think it would be helpful, not only for them, also for us to sort of understand from groundbreaking to potential completion and ribbon cutting. If you could lay out that timeline for us, understanding that everything is up in the air, sort of like what are the parameters that we're looking at? Groundbreaking in September, October, completion, how many years, how many months, just rough framework.
So Emily, so right now we have it, a notice to proceed would be, like, I have to look, I don't remember the date, but it's like September 29th. So this would be following some activities that are happening in that community, so that we didn't want to disrupt that. And then the ribbon cutting right now is October, I think 15th, but that could be adjusted ahead. But obviously we want to give your team enough time for such a ceremony. So we won't change anything, but we would do it with enough knowledge that you guys can adjust whatever you need to do for that ceremony.
I'll just add into that one as well that given what we're looking at for the schedule of receiving the bids at the end of July and working through August to descope the bids, vet the contractor qualifications, review them with the Board of Commissioners, our hope is that we will have a contractor identified prior to Lamont Day in September at Camp William Penn. And I think it would be a really wonderful thing for the community to have a groundbreaking ceremony at Lamont Day in September. I believe September 21st is the date for Lamont Day this year. Is that correct? Or thereabouts? And so I think that, we'll know a lot more about how the bids are looking when they start coming in. But I think our hope would be to be in a position where we can have confidence, as Allison mentioned earlier with regard to the schedule, that there would be a notice to proceed shortly after Lamont Day. So we'd be in a good shape to do a public groundbreaking then.
That's helpful. And Drew, I always really appreciate the perspective that you're coming from. You're so engaged with the folks on the ground and the community around there. So as much as we can really think about the way that they need to hear the updates on this project, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that we can, again, once we see the bids come in and how they're unfolding, I think that we can start to plan for what that groundbreaking looks like and who's involved with it. Obviously, this is a big deal for the community, for the Lamont community, for the township as a whole. So I think we'll want to really do something good.
Hey, Eric, I don't think I heard correctly. Did you actually say ribbon cutting October 15th?
No. Well, yeah, that would be, right now that's what's in the front end is completion date, substantial completion date would be October 15th, but the ribbon cutting could be either lightly before or after that, probably, in coordination with a certificate of occupancy.
2028.
Right. What's that?
2028. I'm sorry,
2027.
Thank you.
2027. Yeah. So,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Ribbon cutting in 2027.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Daniel. I think it was 13 months is what we put in there, but that was really to get some window for the contractors after the school season construction ends, right?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That would be a really fast construction project.
Yeah, that's why I was joking.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's only on those TV remodeling shows.
Any other questions, commissioners? Jerry, I will say we thank you on behalf of the board, but we thank you and the Lamont community for your patience and understanding, and we'll certainly do more and better in terms of communicating moving forward. Public, any questions, comments?
Just real quick before the public jumps in, I'll just on that comment, Commissioner Lewis, the design team will have a consistent presence on the construction site. We are going to be visiting the construction site, I believe, weekly to observe construction, answer questions with the contractors. So I do think that we will be able to provide updates to the community of how construction is progressing, given the fact that we'll have a consistent presence there.
Good stuff. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, everybody. Much appreciated.
Yeah. Okay. You're welcome. Anything else on Lamont? Commissioners, public? Okay. We're going to move forward on 3B. Consider recommending the Board of Commissioners approve an agreement with Cheltenham Deer Management for the 2026-2027 Deer Management Program. Before I turn it over to the president, I didn't see the report. I don't know if it was attached, but I don't have it. Manager Elliott, you want to kick this off before we ask the board for any questions, comments?
Sure. So each year we bring forward an annual contract with Cheltenham Deer Management to manage the deer population in the township. There is a list of parks that are generally part of that process, and Chris Strock is the head of the organization. He's asked to speak to the board about their proposal, and I know that he's talked about changing up some of the open spaces and is prepared to answer any questions you might have.
So, Mr. President, you want us to turn it over to Chris first, and then follow up with any questions? How would you like to proceed?
I think that's fair.
Okay. Chris, thanks for being with us, and thanks for all that you do and the spirit in which you do it. Take it away, please.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, we're just trying to, we usually try to get this knocked out earlier in the summer before budgets start and everything like that. So first and foremost, last year in January, there was a hunting related incident that I think the board is all was all aware of. Assistant Manager Elliott asked that we address that tonight, which so the Pennsylvania Game Commission investigated it. They came back. Well, basically, it was an incredibly freak event that you probably couldn't reproduce if you tried, probably over 1 million times. However, because there was an injury, there was a party that was charged with a hunting-related shooting incident. Apparently, anytime this occurs, from what I understand from the Game Commission, if they can identify a person that actually took a shot that injured another person, then they get charged. There's no question about it. So that individual was fined and lost their hunting privileges for 2 years, I believe. On the meeting tonight is I asked Briar McGee, our regional game commission officer, to be on the meeting with us. So Briar can, Briar, if I misstated anything, could you correct that, or am I on the mark with that?
You're on the mark with that, Chris.
Okay. Thanks, Briar. So you're good, Chris, for me to open it up for questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, commissioners, any questions, comments? Commissioner Stein, thank you.
Sorry. I think at some point it was mentioned that we could see that report. I know I haven't seen it. Can we get a copy of that to see what was indicated by the state?
Briar, is that, I'm sure you have access to that. I haven't seen anything. It was all handled by the Game Commission, but Briar, can you obtain that?
I believe so. I wasn't the original investigating warden. I recently took over Montgomery County after that warden moved. I will talk to my sergeant and lieutenant, and if that is something we can provide, we will definitely provide it.
Okay, because I think it happened on township property, so it seems like it's something we should be able to see. Because I noticed that the Green Valley open space, which is where the incident occurred, was removed. And so I'm wondering if that's crossed off on the proposal for next year because there was something about that space that made it inherently dangerous? Like, why is that removed for next year?
Yeah, we took that off because there became questions as far as the how do I word this, Briar? Because it was open for debate as far as the safe shooting distances that you have to be from residences. So anything that was even debatable, we took that off, and we took Coventry Avenue off as well. So we didn't want to we didn't want to play games with anything that was even close. So because something bad happened there already, and it was a coin toss as to whether that was actually it all has to do, believe it or not, with, if correct me if I'm wrong, Briar, the Cedarbrook School playground and the proximity of Green Valley to that. Am I correct, Briar?
Yes. I mean, there's no specific playground there. I mean, when you get into baseball fields and stuff like that, it's more of just, I went through the spots with Chris and just determined that some spots were just a little bit tighter than others. And when it came to safe shooting wise, I mean, it's below grade, but even the way safety zones is worded in law, below grade still counts. So, it just needed to be removed, and maybe can be reevaluated for a future year. But right now it just needed to be removed, and then we'll reevaluate.
Okay. And then when the incident came up earlier this year, we had a conversation with, I think with you, Chris, about what you would present to us about how you're going to make sure, do spot checks, make sure people are following, there's only one shooter in the location, because that obviously was not happening before. And I haven't seen any of that. Do you have a proposal for how you're going to spot check?
Yeah, we have a program that we put each hunter through, that we definitely tighten it up for this year, and we'll make that available to all you guys. Like I can send it. I usually send everything to the end of the township, and it gets posted. So we'll send that all to you guys. And aside from, I mean, really, spot checks is the best way to play it. Because then you got to be sure. I mean, then people are playing by the rules.
Right.
The most important thing is people being in tree stands. Like, I can't stress enough how important that is. In this event, the guy wasn't. Which, if he's in a tree stand, we're not having this conversation.
Right. Okay. So I guess I'm not comfortable voting on anything till we see that plan of yours presented to us. And then my last question, sorry, everybody else, Sundays. So last year we approved this before Sundays were approved by the state. I don't see that Sundays are carved out in this plan. So I'm assuming the plan as written would be to include 7 days a week during the periods when you're hunting.
That's a mistake, because we're just not hunting Sundays. Like, that's just something that we felt as though, like, the residents deserved a day, at least a day that they know that there's no hunting going on. So,
I agree.
Regardless of what the state has, we're just overriding that in the township, and there's no Sunday hunting in the township.
Okay, so then I would request that be added to the document as well.
Yeah.
Right, that's it.
We'll get it all cleaned up, Commissioner.
Thanks, Commissioner Stein. One moment. Commissioner Nars, Mr. President, and Commissioner Brockington, in that order, please.
Thank you, Commissioner Lewis. And Chris, thank you for the work you do on this project, as well as your volunteer fire work. So I don't want to minimize the incident that occurred this past January, but I'm fully in favor of continuing the program. And frankly, I'm disappointed that Coventry Park is being removed. There are a lot of deer in that location, and from there they end up crossing New 2nd Street, which is just very dangerous. just waiting for more accidents to occur.
Yeah, well, it is. Coventry is probably the tightest spot as far as being close to the houses. It's probably within a yard or two of being what I'll say, the legal distance. We have had a resident or two there that gets all kinds of agitated about it. So our thought was really, I mean, we're just trying to work with the residents, make this happen. I don't disagree with you. There's deer all over the place there. Our hopes are that, it's actually worse now since Melrose has been bulldozed.
Right.
Like we're all seeing it in the neighborhoods now. So I mean, we're just trying to keep everybody happy and still get this accomplished somehow. And like I said, we're in an urban community. It's tight. There's no perfect answer to this. And we're just trying to keep it safe and yet make it effective. And, sometimes it is what it is, Commissioner.
Yeah, thank you. I'm supportive of your efforts. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. Drack, thank you for the work that you do on this program. I'm equally supportive, but I do think that when it comes to accomplishing the mission versus safety has to come first. And I think you'd probably agree with that. So I am also reluctant to approve this today because I do want to see the sort of the details, right? I want to see the details of as much what went wrong on that particular day, but really what the takeaways are from your group and how you're going to do your best, right? Obviously, you can't predict everything, but do your best to ensure that the areas and the work is as safe as possible. And if that is spot checks, I think we need to see that. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the agreement. It could be an addendum. It could be just a report, but something that shows what are the takeaways, what are the best practices. I know the one individual you said lost their license, but I don't know if there were other individuals involved who, are they still part of the team, and whether that is a wise choice. I just don't know those details. I think we need that information in order to be comfortable moving forward with the program. As great as it is otherwise in managing the deer population, which, as Commissioner Norris said, is so critically important to prevent auto accidents and such. We want to strike that balance. But I think getting some more information from you will be an important first step.
That is not a problem at all.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, Mr. President. Commissioner Brockington.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chris, you know how much I respect you and all that you do in this township. Absolutely. So thank you for what you do. I know last year you got some pushback from the residents around, a resident around Parkview. You and I spoke about that, and you didn't really, there wasn't too much over there. And I think what I would like you to do is take Parkview Road off for this season and put it back on, sort of doing every other season at Parkview. Okay. So I'm going to request that you remove number 8 Parkview Road for this particular season.
That is not a problem.
Okay. And then we'll jump back on that next year, the year after that. Okay?
Yeah. Yep, that's fine.
All right. Thank you, sir. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioners, any other questions, comments? Commissioners, public, any questions, comments from the public? Okay, Chris, so the way it looks right now, we're not going to take a vote tonight. You're going to, you or Breyer will try to get us a report, the investigative report, the outcome of that, and whatever your plan, proposal, procedure is for moving forward to eliminate recurrence as best we can. when do you think you can have the information back to us, and sending it to Manager Elliott would suffice, and then she would get it to the commissioners? I'm just trying to find out when we put it back on the schedule. And if we can't determine that now, that's fine.
No, yeah, I would.
After that?
I mean, we can shoot for having it done before the August Public Works meeting.
Okay.
If not, it would be September. But yeah, we'll see what we can do about getting everything together and cleaned up before the August meeting.
So, Commissioner, Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes, Mr. President.
So I'll make a motion to table this item until the next Public Works meeting.
Okay, good. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. All right, Chris, you good with that?
That's fine. That's fine.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yep. Okay. 1C. Consider recommending the Board of Commissioners adopt a resolution granting conditional approval and associated waivers for CTDA 26-02 preliminary and final land development application for 1313 Ashbourne Road, which is in Elkins Park, 19027, subdividing a vacant 14,450 square foot lot in the R3 resident zoning district into two 7,225 square feet lots and constructing a single family detached dwelling on each. I can't see that.
On
Is
each
that-
subdivided lot, essentially, Dwight.
Okay, each subdivided lot. Okay, I wrote over it, unfortunately. Okay. Who wants to talk about this?
I can kick it off here, Commissioner Lewis.
Thanks.
This is a land development application before you this evening. As you mentioned, it's a subdivision of a vacant lot into two. Will be two lots. The applicant is represented by Ms. Farrell. I know she is here this evening. The applicant is here this evening. This application has gone through our standard process, having gone through the Planning Commission review process to the shade tree. All of the township consultants have weighed in here. There was a question at the shade tree commission about what to do with restoration of trees on the property. I think we're really fortunate here to have an applicant that was willing to be really creative in terms of how to maximize the number of replacement trees on the property. And with the assistance of the stack and our township arborist, I think we're in a good spot. I think staff has a good recommendation on how to resolve the tree replacements on this parcel. If the board's okay, we can turn the meeting over to Ms. Farrell just for a very, very brief summary in case I missed anything. And then you're certainly welcome to ask any questions you may have about the waivers or the consultant and staff recommendation.
Yes, brief would be good. Thank you.
Great. Good evening, everyone. Amy Farrell with Kaplan Stewart. It's good to see you all. I do have plans we can share if you don't have them available in front of you and you'd like to see anything on the screen. But again, I think Ed really summarized this quite simply. This is a property that I think you're all quite familiar with. This is 1313 Ashbourne. It was the subject of many years of struggle with the township in trying to bring the prior property owner into compliance with number of units and condition of property, et cetera. The property was ultimately taken over by the bank, and the bank took the home down because it was in such disrepair. So we've been working over the last couple of years in conjunction with all of the surrounding property owners. We've had a couple of meetings with those folks throughout this process to land on a proposed development that everybody really supports and is looking forward to seeing happen. So I think as Ed said, it's pretty straightforward. It's a small lot to begin with. We'll subdivide into two lots. Each lot will have a single family home on it. We have proposed a shared driveway concept here, specifically and particularly at the request of the neighbors. We're trying to limit the amount of parking that we lose along the street Anyone that knows that stretch of Ashbourne knows it's tight and tiny. There's only parking on one side of the street, and neighbors really wanted to try to maintain as much of that as they could. So we are doing that. We do have some slope and grade that we're working with at the rear of the property, in addition to an existing sewer easement along the rear, 15 feet that we cannot touch. So that is really what's partly driving the limit on the tree replacement, as Ed mentioned. If you do the math here, there were 4 large old trees on the property at the time that our client purchased. Those trees were dead and or dying, and one of them was in sort of imminent danger of failure. So all 4 of those trees were taken down as a safety precaution. Again, neighbors were sort of thrilled to see the property being cleaned up, so that was really never an issue. However, the township's ordinance for tree replacement requires that you look back 2 years on any trees that have been removed. And when you do the math under that replacement, it would have resulted in a replacement requirement of 35 trees on a property that's about a third of an acre. So as you can imagine, really not much place, if at all, to be able to accommodate 35 trees. So we've worked with our landscape team, as well as the township's arborist and the chair of the Shade Tree Commission, to come up with the proposal that's in staff's report tonight. So it's a combination of adding trees on property where we can, in addition to understory trees along the rear property line just off of our property, if that property owner is amenable, as well as naturalized and natural shrubs, and a kind of system along both of the side property lines to help with some buffering there. And then a fee in lieu of for an additional 5 trees that we just kind of can't accommodate between those 2 other alternatives. That was, again, discussed pretty heavily at the Shade Tree Commission. I think, as Ed noted, and as I think you'll see in their memo or their minutes, they see their role in that regard as much more limited. It's simply a matter of whether or not the calculation has been done correctly. They agree that the calculation was done correctly, and then they defer to this committee to make a determination as to any alternative, such as the one that we're proposing tonight. Otherwise, I think the staff is supporting all of our waiver requests. There are not a lot of them, even given the size of this property, but we're certainly happy to talk through any of those as well. We will comply as to township review letters, and all of that sort of has been resolved with township consultants. There was one additional request by the traffic engineer, Bowman, as part of the planning commission discussion. You'll see in the Bowman letter a suggestion, not a requirement because it's not an ordinance requirement, but a suggestion that we consider widening that shared driveway. We proposed not to widen it beyond what's shown currently. We're trying to maintain as little impervious disturbance as we can. If we were to make that driveway even wider than presently shown, obviously we'd be increasing impervious on an already small lot. We did talk to Anton about whether or not we could widen the driveway opening right at the roadway there a little bit, just to make that circulation a little bit simpler and easier. And we said certainly we can take a look at that. So that's the only kind of qualifying factor in the will comply. Otherwise, we will comply and ready to move forward as soon as everyone else is comfortable. We do have our the owner, as well as our civil engineer and our landscape architect tonight, if you have any questions.
Thanks, Ms. Farrell. Whose ward is this in?
I believe it's Commissioner Jeremy Walls, correct?
Yes.
There she is. She's raising her hand. Yep.
Take it away.
I just wanted to say wanted to reiterate that I'm so pleased that the project has neighbor support. They've been engaged throughout various steps of this, and very happy to see that engagement. Also thrilled to see the way that we're dealing with the proposed 35 trees. I was very happy to see that was discussed on the Shade Tree Commission in their notes. And then also how this has been proposed to be adjusted with a financial contribution for the trees that can't be planted. I think it's a great project, and thank you, Ms. Farrell, for explaining it to us.
Thanks, Commissioner. Commissioner Stein?
I also wanted to say I really appreciate the combination of planting as many trees and additional shrubs as possible on the property, and then the payment in lieu of, in addition, working together with the shade tree and the township's arborist for that is really appreciated. And also, I understand why the planning commission might want you to widen that driveway, but if I lived on that block, I'd want you to keep it as small as possible. I've parked there many times, and it's hard enough as it is to park along that block. So, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
And I
Commissioners?
do just want to be clear that the width that we are providing does meet the ordinance requirement. So we're not asking for any waiver there. Anton was just asking if we could look at making it any wider. And again, we just don't think it makes a lot of sense on this site.
Thanks, Ms. Farrell. Commissioners, any other questions, comments? Staff, questions, comments? Public, do we have any questions or comments? Seeing none, Mr. President, I move that we adopt a resolution granting conditional approval and associated waivers for the preliminary and final land development application for 1313 Ashbourne Road in Elkins Park.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell.
3D. I move that we accept concurrence of the 2026-2027 Montgomery County Consortium of Communities Vehicle Fuel Contract awarded by the Upper Marion Township Board of Supervisors on June 11, 2026 to SJ Fuel South Company, Inc. of Barrington, New Jersey for the period of September 1st, 2026 to August 31st, 2027. Mr. President?
Are there any comments or questions from the board? I have one. I sort of looked through this memo quickly, but Ms. Elliott, can you give us an idea of how things, or maybe Mr. Slade, I saw you pop on there, how things have changed from the last time we did a contract of this type to now? Is the price up, down? I assume up, but I figured maybe you could elaborate on that.
Actually, the price is the same because the person or the contract, the one that won the contract, SJ Fuel, came in 8 cents above Opus pricing last year and this year. The fuel that we get is regular and we get diesel, and their pricing is 8 cents above Opus pricing. And I get information about Opus pricing every week. So I can tell you exactly how much how much we're being charged. Between them and the other 3 people that they were bidding against, they were definitely the lowest. Some were as high as 27 cents above Opus pricing per gallon, and others were 31 cents. So at 8 cents, they really wanted to bid, and they've been good to us. They've been very good to us. When I call, they're definitely responsive, and we haven't had any problems with them.
Great. Thank you for that answer, Mr. Slade. And when I saw you pop on, all my anxiety just dripped away because I knew you were going to have the right answer for us. So thank you.
Very good.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions or comments? Mr.
All
President?
right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. 3E. Consider recommending the Board of Commissioners authorize township staff to coordinate with the township engineer to complete survey work, prepare plans, and obtain informal contractor quotes for the Valley Road storm sewer repair between Old York Road and North 12th Street. Anyone want to speak on that?
I can take that one, Commissioner
Go ahead,
Lewis.
Samantha. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Kyle and I, or Mr. Dermer and I, can also give additional input, but this has been on our radar. There's been temporary repairs made in the past. However, with the past 2 storms, with the significant flooding, the repairs, temporary repairs, cannot be made. Our MS4 crew cannot do the full replacement due to the depth. So that's why we're going to engage Gannett Fleming to go out and do the survey so that we can get proposals. We'll do this under an emergency repair. So we just need authorization from you to be able to get the quotes to go out and hire a contractor. The emergency repairs is just replacing kind. There will be no additional work, but we really need to get that pipe replaced. Kyle, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I'll just give you guys some background on what's going on out there. So there's a stormwater pipe that runs from 611 to 12th Street on Valley Road. It is a terracotta pipe. It's completely collapsed in the middle. So what's happening is with the heavy rain, the street opened up where it was collapsed and it was scouring out the earth, and it's just sucking all the material that we've been filling in that hole with down into the pipe and washing out the road. So we're looking for the approval to get this repaired under emergency terms. That's all.
What's the cost, Kyle?
We don't know where it's going to be until we get some more information and put together a full scope of work. I really don't want to speculate on that right now.
Okay.
Samantha can speak on it as well. We received a grant last year to actually do this job, and we thought we'd have more time, but it's just not going to happen. So we're looking to use that grant to move down to the next segment of pipe that's also possibly compromised. So we'll be eventually being reimbursed for that part of the project, but right now we're just trying to get this fixed and get Valley back together, basically.
Thank you. Mr. President, you want to take it from here?
Sure. I'll make a motion to recommend the Board of Commissioners authorize township staff to coordinate the engineer to complete the work set forth here for the described repair. Commissioner Norris, you have a comment?
Just a real quick comment. Thank you to Ms. Brinker and Mr. Dermer. The residents are very much appreciative. This has been an area that has been a problem actually for a number of years. So I understand the emergency now. So thank you for your efforts. It'll be much appreciated.
Thank you, Commissioner Norris. Any other comments or questions from the board? From the public? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you, Mr. President. 3F, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners authorize township staff to coordinate with the township engineer to obtain the required permits and informal quotes for temporary stabilization repairs to the High School Road retaining wall.
So this one we put forth in front of you in May to do a survey of the wall. The Gannett Fleming and their survey team was out there and did a stream assessment and a wall assessment. And they are suggesting to do some temporary repairs now while we go through the design process, which, in a stream could take a long time. So we want to get it stabilized now. So I drafted the memo, gave some additional information on those repairs. So basically what the recommendation from the engineer is to use grout and mortar bags, which is kind of a cool process. I liked looking it up. They'll put empty bags underneath the wall and then they'll pump in grout and that will stabilize it. So I definitely want to go out there when it's being done, but if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer, or if you want a more detailed explanation.
All right, thanks for that. Commissioner Walls.
Ms. Brinker, sorry, I should have thought to ask this sooner, but would you remind me, did we apply for grant funding for this project as well?
So that's what we came before you in front of May. We authorized Gannett to do the survey and submit 2 grants. So we submitted one to DCED for the flood mitigation program already, which was due in May 31st. And then their team is working on a brick grant with Ms. Kirshner, and that will be submitted by the end of the month. The survey plan is going to develop into a preliminary concept plan to be submitted with the grant application. So hopefully it will look more favorable, so that we can, do a greater repair and rehabilitation of that wall.
So the temporary fix we would be paying for, but potentially the larger fix would be fully supported by grant funding.
Yes.
Okay,
and again,
thank you.
this has been something on our radar. I think Mr. Dermer took me out there almost the first day I started. And if you drive by there, you can see the sidewalk has heaved. And I know they were trying to do some temporary repairs. So hopefully this will be more of a long range temporary repair to stabilize it. And then we can move forward with the final, like the design and DEP permitting.
That's great. And then one last question. When we projected some of the projects that we're going to do and built it into the budget, did we have money set aside for this in our budget currently, or is okay?
Yeah, so this was always planned. It was more for design this year. It wasn't for the repairs, but we had projected it out. So as you will see in the upcoming budget, you'll see those numbers, throughout the next couple years.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you so much for that background.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Walls. Commissioner Stein.
I'm just curious if you can give us an idea of how, this is a longer range temporary, but like what's the rough time frame for how long this type of temporary repair will last? Will it be enough to get through to the permanent repair?
So we asked that same question to Mr. Phillips, and he had his structural team do an evaluation. And through that evaluation, they think it would give us approximately 5 years with this temporary repair. Roger, do you want to add anything to the length of the temporary repairs?
No, it's probably around 5 years or so. It's always hard to tell, and it depends on the storms and how they affect it. But there is severe undermining of that wall, and what these grout bags will do will stop the water from undermining any further, and it'll direct it further down the creek. So as long as the grout bags hold up, it could last longer than that. But we usually don't recommend leaving them in there for that long without a permanent fix.
Yeah, and this was we're going to try to apply for as much grant funding as we can, but like I previously said, we're also going to take the steps to start the design and get that process rolling, and just try to keep tackling those grants as we go. But
yeah, I'm not suggesting we wait on the permanent. I was just curious how long this temporary would be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Mr. President, I move to authorize township staff to coordinate with the township engineer to obtain the required permits and informal quotes for temporary stabilization repairs to the high school road retaining wall.
Thank you, Commissioner Lewis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Well, July 4th is right in front of us. I'm sure we have a lot of announcements. Who wants to go first? Anyone? No?
Well, I'll go first.
Rockington? I'll do it.
First. The East Cheltenham Community Council will be having their parade. It starts about 11:30, and the meeting spot is at Baraka Church. So it's not a very long parade, but it's fun going through the neighborhoods there. So it's on the east side of Cheltenham, so all are welcome.
What day?
That will be on July 4th.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
other
when you're done with that, right, come on over to the west side and join the Glenside 4th of July parade. I believe stay tuned to whether it's social media or there are other information outlets. I think they may be starting a little early because of the potential for the heat and to spread out some of the acts so they're not on top of each other. But I think the last I saw was 3:15 or something like that, or maybe 3:45. Excuse me.
3:45.
Say it again. 3:45. Thank you, Mr. Lynch. But if you do go to either of the parades, please make sure that you take care of yourself, drink lots of water, wear light clothes, and take lots of shade breaks because it is going to be a hot one. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Commissioners, staff, public? Any announcements? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move to Citizens Forum. Citizens Forum. Anyone have any questions, comments? Please step forward. You have 3 minutes. Anyone? Everybody wants to go home. Okay. Seeing none, Mr. President, I move that we adjourn the Public Works Committee meeting at 8:40 p.m.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye.